It is still March, and the exact same day as Land Portable, we have Bomberman Story DS, released in Japan and Europe, but not North America. Yes, that's still a thing. Remember, Bomberman Tournament was originally Bomberman Story, so we can expect another Zelda-esque game out of this one. Let's start up the campaign. On a night lit by the full moon. So is that our moon that's orbiting the Earth, or Planet Bomber's purple moon that wasn't purple in Max 2? I don't know what planet this is on. This guy, Professor Zeal, was involved in researching Boratol, but the lab shut down his research, so he steals all the data on it and runs off. Dr. Ein is here, and talks with Wolfman, who put together a team from the Justice Department to take care of this. Oh, and Zeal also stole some data on the Shining Bomb. Ein recommends someone else joins the team. None other than Cheerful White. This isn't a land game, why are you calling him this? A few months later, Bomberman meets this Justice team, and they really do not look like Bomberman characters. And why is this game a visual novel so far? So there have been missing person reports all over the galaxy, and we're going to investigate those. But weren't we supposed to chase down Zeal? Sure, they end up being the same thing, but what was the main purpose of this team again? Bomberman is silent in this one. So bombs explode in a circular pattern, quite uncommon for a non-3D game. Only other one would be Survival Bomberman, or Bomber King if you want to count that. And we can throw with one button and kick without relying on a power-up, though we don't get the kick before leveling up. Yes, this game has an XP-based leveling system. And we have different types of bombs. We can use as many regular bombs as we want, though only a certain number at a time. But here are bait bombs, bombs that attract enemies towards them. We have a limited supply of them and have to gather them from the overworld and buy them from shops. Oh, and there are other items such as health restores. We have a heart meter like in Generation. So our team is splitting into groups and going to the various planets. We're teamed with Ashel the Navigator and sent to Noinwood. We land in Noinwood, where Ashel is promptly kidnapped, leaving us here alone. Now we can move freely across the map. Throwing or kicking a bomb into an enemy stuns them, so combat is pretty easy. Just like in earlier adventure games, we have the occasional minigame, this time involving the touchscreen. Bombable cave walls are still a thing. Sometimes with stuff in a cave, sometimes with a puzzle in it. We find a town on the planet. All the men are gone, those are the missing people we're supposed to find. We can trade items for other items, we can buy and sell stuff at the Galaxy Shop, or GS. There's a fetch quest. Further along, we find the Holy Tree, but the lady won't let us in until we talk to someone in the town. Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those make sure you talk to this person before talking to this person before talking to this person twice before you're allowed to progress type of games, isn't it? So we enter that tree, and it's our first dungeon. It has rooms, enemy robots, again stunned by bombs. They take multiple hits, so we kick, wait, kick again, wait, kick again, wait. If we get bored, we can kick a bomb that's already right up against them and do this. There are some puzzles here, I say generously, to open certain doors. Finally, we reach the boss Zarut, lizard dude with fans. What is this? Oh, the bad guy faction is called Lords of the Galaxy. He turns giant, and we fight him in this open room. After that, we free the prisoners and Ashel. Now we can go to the other part of the planet and exchange our Borad coal for info cards and a key item. Oh yeah, and we get special cross bombs, closest thing to cross-shaped explosions here. Only 4 more planets to go. Well, it ain't gonna play itself. Onwards to Zex Marine, where another group of the Justice Department went. We get the pile bomb, which can combine with other pile bombs to make the explosion stronger. And we find the town, consisting of 3 floors, and again a lot of people are missing. We find the right person to talk to, and then the other right person to talk to, and then the other right person to talk to who tells us to kill some monsters. So we kill some monsters and come back and she tells us to kill some more monsters. So we do that and she tells us to kill even more monsters this time. Finally, after that, she gives us the item we need to do this minigame for this guy who says, "Way to go, brah." We get the remote bomb, which we can detonate remotely. Though again, since we have to collect each one, we hardly ever use them. The satellite guy gives us the Zex key, but the last key he gave us was the Noin key, and that was on Noinwood. Now we are on Zex Marine, ZEX, and he's giving us the Zex key, ZECHS. Finally, we move through the world and reach the dungeon where Kaluza the mechanic and Fab the robot of the Justice Department are talking with 2 villains. Turns out they were captured. This green lady and... what? Oh, okay, it's gone. Green lady Felina insults Fab for being a robot. Robot racism? It's not like robots can kill people. No hints are made as to whether Bomberman is a robot in this game or not, so I can't really make a statement on it, but I am seriously on edge here. Okay, the orange thing left with Kaluza. We trek through the dungeon, picking up some blow bombs that split into multiple bombs when kicked or thrown, and find Felina, who threatens to spank us. She also turns giant, and we rescue Fab and the other people from that underwater town. Fab is angry that he was treated like a robot. Is there some self-racism of that? Or man, I just don't know. Onwards to the third planet, Erie Desert. We pick up some barrier bombs we can use to generate shields. We find a town with a bunch of people and missing people. And this second place we can't get to because there are some guards. Oh, we have to talk to this person twice, and then this other person, and then one of the guards is gone, and after a minigame we can't get to this mansion. The master isn't helpful and seems to have some dealings with the bad guys, so now what? Oh, after having exhausted the master's dialogue, we talk to this maid here again, and she helps us forwards. We reach the entrance of the dungeon and cut to Heath, the captain, and Janduke, the pilot, arguing with this guy from the start. They already said his name is Zeal, why are they hiding it here? He says Heath is going to be his first human test subject. This guy is a human? This guy? How does that work? Is it a human in a fursuit? Is this Ein's fursona? Borad Cole guy gives us the Dritte key. The Drite key? But the planet was Erie Desert. Are the keys supposed to be named after the planets or not? After a long dungeon with more minigames, we find this orange fat dude. So, what's with those stubby arms? That mouth? Did they use a picture of someone's anus as the design concept? Tab Farad is his name. I call him Blobby McAnus Face. He turns giant again and bounces around. After that, we rescue the missing people and Kaluza. So onwards to Planet Fireflame. This one guy teleports us to the wrong place, so we have to go farther to the research station on it. Satellite Dude gives us the fire key. So with that out of the way, we can go to the next dungeon. A longer dungeon with puzzles, minigames, and we reach this random ninja called Minazaki, who we never saw before. He even says you know the drill before going giant again. We beat him and rescue some researchers and Janduke. He sends us to the last planet, Boratol Sphere. But on the map screen is Boratol SQR, which would mean square? Is it sphere or square? Robots. Lots and lots of robots. Kick, stun, explode, kick, stun, explode, kick, stun, explode. You can turn the fuse lower in the menu screen to make your bombs explode faster. Wish I'd noticed that earlier. Borad Cole guy gives us the Estuet key. So not named after Boratol Squares/Sphere? Zeal has a robot called Gaffner. Ein says this room has an effect on our bombs, but it doesn't, not that I can tell, and it's never referenced again. What was that about? Near the end, if we have all the keys, we can get the Shining Bomb mentioned near the start. It uses up one of every other bomb, but doesn't seem to have any special effect. It's just like a regular bomb. He tells us to use Shining Bombs against the boss, but regular bombs work just fine. What is going on? Of course he goes giant. Oh, and it was Heath, but brainwashed, but he's better now. Then we move on to fight the evil Professor Zeal, who also goes giant. We beat him, but he decides to destroy the planet. We escape in time, and Heath asks us if we want to join his team. Bomberman says no. Roll credits. The heck did I just play? How did we fall so far from tournament? This is so cobbled together and raises so many questions. The master in the desert town had no character model, but two random researchers near the start did. Wolfaman appeared to be built up to be something, but he never appeared again. And this visual novel style and these characters, this must have been some other game that they slapped Bomberman onto. Not much is known about this game's development, but I am very curious. As it stands though, is this the worst Bomberman campaign? Hard to say. Land Portable was pretty boring, but that was a spin-off, and Act Zero is hard to beat on that end. But Act Zero is more simple, at least. Like, it's tedious, but there's no real story, and it's not pretending to be anything else. There's no frustration because you failed to talk to the right person. Story DS has more stuff in it that is so dang boring and tedious, and so much more dialogue to sift through, and nothing makes sense. A different kind of bad. One thing Story DS does have over Act Zero is a functional battle mode on the cartridge. The Japanese version has Battle Pack in it, the same one that Land Touch had, meaning that if one person has Land Touch and another has Story DS, they can play together. But the European version was released later, and by that time, Battle Pack 2 had had been released on a separate game, so they put that on the cartridge instead of Battle Pack 1, meaning in Europe there's no crossplay between this game and Land Touch, but there is between this game and later games on the DS. July 2007 sees the release of Bomberman Live in all regions. It was for the Xbox 360, but was also later ported to the PlayStation 3 with the title Bomberman Ultra. It is only battle mode, so I don't have much to say since it isn't my focus. You can play with other people over Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network, or locally, so that isn't left out this time. There are tons and tons of costumes to collect, mix and match, so you can personalize your character. And here's our new remix of the battle mode music. July 2007, and it is Touch Bomberman Land Star Bomber's Miracle World, released in all regions and retitled Bomberman Land Touch 2 internationally. We start the campaign to find ourselves on a boat heading towards Bomb Kingdom, yet another theme park that Gold's dad is inviting everyone to. The theme park is ruled by a magician named Star Bomber, not to be confused with Star Bomber from Hardball, who was the localization for Black Bomber. Star uses teleportation magic to bring us to the castle. He can actually use magic, but somebody somewhere is laughing. So this plays pretty much like Land Touch 1, just with more of a circus-y performance-type aesthetic instead of pirates. We explore areas of the park, beating every minigame twice, once for the zone piece, once for the token, and unlock doors. We get items and costumes that help us explore more. Notably, we interact with our friends more in Land Touch games than in the other Land games. And a new friend is introduced here, Aqua Bomber, or Acrobat Aqua in English. This one is Aqua because she's bright blue. We've had bright blue palette swaps, one even appearing in Bakugaidan, but here in Land, Aqua Bomber is a girl, who is not to be confused with Aqua Bomber from World PlayStation, but he was Aqua because water, not because of the color. Though our first interaction with her involves her looking for a water bomb, which we help find for her, she messes up demonstrating the circus trick she was practicing, but that gave her confidence somehow. The minigames are better again. I don't know, the touchscreen just makes for better minigames, I guess. A few really old ones are here, some recycled from Land Touch 1, but quite a lot of new ones. The dancing minigame is a lot better than the one in Land Wii. Here's a minigame where we sort multicolored bombers. The white ones also have a white body. Weird. The music minigame from Land Touch 1 returns, but it's spooky now, and with more of a jam. Exploration is more involved too. Star inflates us so we can float up to the skies and visit one of the two sages. We also get shrunken to explore a corner of the castle where we meet Mini Bomber, the same one from Land Portable. He says he doesn't know us, so I guess it's a different one. He gives us a fossil bomb. Bombermen in ancient times used these. Green can read ancient Bomberman languages. Is this a connection to the museum bomb from Saturn? Later on, Star transforms us into various characters and we talk to the others in disguise to get them to get out of the way. We chase Ninja Bomber around, not the same as Bomber Ninja from Wars. Here is Thief Bomber, also not Bomber Thief from Wars, who steals the hat from Queen, one of the zone bosses, and Aqua needs to get it back before Queen finds out. But there's a dance party with Pretty. Oh, that made us miss the quest with Aqua and Thief. Too bad. Oh look, it's Mummy Bomber, not the same as Bomber Mummy from Panic Bomber Virtual Boy. Bomber House is back, and we fight against the zone bosses. Jack, riding a rocking horse, Ace, a big golden dude, and Queen, leader of the circus. After lots of adventuring, we come face to face with this guy who says he's taking over the kingdom. It's Evil Bomber, not to be confused with Evil Bomber from Hero, who was actually Devil Bomber. Evil turns the whole place dark. We fall asleep, but wake up in Star's castle. So Pretty carried us here, and Star saved us, but everyone else has been zombified and we need to reverse the spell somehow. Star sends us to get a key from the sages. We get to the first one just fine, and to the second one, but then we find Pretty hanging off a cliff. Turns out she found the key we were after. We go to fight Gold and friends in a minigame, which returns them to their senses. Okay, let's explore the castle with Pretty. What? What's happening to her sprite? This only happens during this part of the game where she's following you, and only in this room in the castle. After that, it turns out Gold and his gang defeated the zombified Ace off-screen, thus turning his zone back to normal. So they actually contributed to saving the day in some capacity. Cool. Afterwards, we team up with Pretty against Black and Aqua, who turn back to normal, and in turn go to fight Jack and Queen to turn their zones back to normal. It's actually a team effort. This restored some of Star's magic, who can then send us to Evil Bomber's castle, where we find harder versions of some of the minigames. The highlight for me is this second spooky music minigame. Oh, looks like he kidnapped Pretty to lure us here. He's jealous of Star Bomber because he's way more popular than him. So we fight against Evil Bomber, who is not to be confused with Evil Bomber from Hero, who was actually Devil Bomber from GB3, and there's no GB2 because that was changed to GB, which is not the same as the other GB that was changed to Wario Blast, and Wario is from Diamond City, which is not to be confused with Diamond City from Super 1, where in the credits they were writing enemies, which was possible in Super 4, which was the first appearance of the Bomber Shitinu, that were localized as the 4 Bomber Kings, unlike the other Bomber Shitinu from Jetters that included Thunder Bomber, who is not the same as Thunder Bomber from Bomberman Online DC, which is not the same as Bomberman Online PC, that may have had a boss mode where we fight against Bomber Dragon from Saturn, who is not the same Bomber Dragon from Wars, where we also had Bomber Ninja, who is not the same as Ninja Bomber from Land Touch 2, the game that had Mini Bomber, who is not the same as Mini Bomber from Land Portable, the game that had Dark Bomber, who is not the same as Dark Bomber from Wars, that also had Bomber Thief, who is different from Thief Bomber from Land Touch 2, who we needed to chase for Aqua Bomber, who is not the same as Aqua Bomber from World PlayStation, which is not the same as Bomberman World Arcade, where we fought against King Bomber, who is not the same as Bomber King, the inscription on the golden statue in N-Gage that was stolen by Black Bomber, who is not the same as Black Bomber, who in Hardball was localized to Star Bomber, who is different from Star Bomber in Land Touch 2, who is the arch nemesis of Evil Bomber, and after beating him, he learns to appreciate the power of friendship and gives us the last piece we need to reach this spot, where we use the water bomb we got from Aqua, because it symbolizes making friends or something, to clear the skies. Everyone celebrates that the day is saved. Roll credits. Pink's route? Ah, yes. Remember when we went to Pretty's dance party and that meant we couldn't help Aqua with Thief Bomber? Well, if we instead miss out on the dance party but help Aqua get that hat back from Thief, later when Evil turns the place dark, it is not Pretty but Aqua who brings us to safety. And we save Aqua from this predicament, and we explore a secret room in the circus together. And she's the one who gets kidnapped by Evil Bomber, who we fight to save her. Gotta say, White and Aqua saving the day together is a lot more wholesome than Pretty. Roll credits. The end. Wow, I'd say this was the best land game. Sadly, it was the last non-mobile land game. Or perhaps not sadly. Isn't there a way we can try to give traditional Bomberman some new life? This was the game that introduced Battle Pack 2, which is like Battle Pack 1 but with more modes, and yet another remix of the second battle mode music.